David Taylor is founder and managing partner of the Brandgym and author of 4 highly regarded books around the topic of brand growth and brand extension. The Chartered Institute of Marketing declared him to be one of the top 50 marketing thinkers in the world today.
I'm David Taylor from the Brandgym, and we're going to look at how to grow your core brand and your core business. Dove, when it was born, was a humble, simple cleaning bar. Now, it's selling everything from shampoo to shower gel. And look at Apple. Its core business was computers. But now, it's also a fantastic phone. It's an MP3 player. And it's the USA's most admired retailer. And when it works, boy, can this type of brand extension away from the core and into new markets be good for your bottom line, as Apple's share price results show. This sort of almost orgasmic, fantastic growth is what so many companies are after. And that's why so many people are looking at stretching away from the core, or what made them famous, into new markets. However, this road to growth, the road to brand extension, is risky. And in fact, your chances of success would be better by taking a coin, flipping it, and betting your entire brand extension budget on heads or tails. Because the chances of success of brand extension are less than 1 in 2. Some reports put it as low as 30%. Here's a real example from work I did with a leading dairy company in Malaysia. Now, this team were enthusiastic about growing their sexy new low-fat yogurt. They were going head-to-head with formidable competition in the shape of Danone. And they were very excited about the idea of growing by 50% this new extension to generate $1 million of extra growth. But then a brave and smart brand manager pointed out an interesting alternative. If they could get only 1% growth from their core milk business, this would deliver the same $1 million of growth. Grow your extension by 50% or grow the core by 1%. And why is that 1% of growth on the core so interesting? Because growing the core like that makes a strong brand even stronger. It avoids fragmentation. It builds the business in a much more profitable and sustainable way. Step 2 is getting the right balance between 2 things. On the first, we have product, or sausage as I call it, and the second thing is the emotional side of the brand, or sizzle. Sure, emotional sizzle is important. When we say sizzle, we mean all the stuff to do with brand personality, its tone of voice, its style of presentation. Often the things that are communicated through advertising. And this is an important part of growing. But too many brands are relying on this side of their brand. They're relying on the emotional part of branding to help them grow. What we also need to grow our core business is a really good sausage. And by sausage, we mean the core product. We're talking about the product's features, its benefits, and its attributes. Now let's look at some ideas about how you can stimulate idea creation for growing your core business in this way. First of all, let's look at just promoting the core business. We're not going to change the pack. We're not going to change the product. We're not going to launch anything new. We're simply going to sell more of what we have. Now, this is perhaps the most difficult, but also potentially the most rewarding way of growing your core business. And it's amazing what you can achieve if you have a small budget or no budget at all. You have to force yourself to be creative. You have to force yourself to get every bit of growth you can out of what you have in your core products and core brand. This is how the Geek Squad's chief inspector, Robert Stevenson, has grown his computer repair business from a little startup in his dormitory at university into a business with 20,000 PC repairmen. He uses every bit of the brand to create impact. So these agents, they have a very distinctive uniform. They have their badge with their agent's name on. They have a white shirt. They have a black tie. They have these black shoes. So that the whole look and feel of that brand is highly distinctive. But they also have the sausage, because if you look at the ratings of this brand in terms of delivery of service, they beat the competition out hand. So he's making every bit of his marketing mix on his core product build awareness and build impact. And I love the quote from Robert Stevenson. His quote is, "Advertising is a tax for having an unremarkable product." In other words, if you make your core product remarkable, if you make it exciting, make it impactful like he's done, then the need for advertising is reduced. And indeed, that's how he's grown his business with very little or no advertising. So let's try and bring this together and try and summarize what we've seen about the ways to grow your core business. Number one, we have to kill the dwarfs. The dwarfs have to go. We need to look at those small, distracting brand extensions that we've launched, perhaps where we've stretched into markets where we don't belong, where we lack added value, where the competition is strong. These extensions that are stealing away valuable resources from our core business. We need to reduce them. We perhaps even need to do a bit of dwarf killing. We then need to think about a branding like Bond. This was the whole idea about looking back at what made you famous, looking forward at new trends, looking at the competition, both direct and indirect. And by doing that, having a go at finding this balancing act behind what we need to change on the one hand, but also what we need to keep consistent. The third thing is getting the right balance between, on the one hand, the functional side of our brand, what we can call the sausage. It's about delivering improved product performance, like we saw on the Innocent brand, but also having emotional appeal and emotional sizzle, as we call it, and getting the sausage and the sizzle working together. And then finally, and most importantly, it's about having wave after wave of renovation on your core business. It's about looking at how you can promote the brand more effectively, like the Geek Squad. It's about how you can upgrade your core to make it even better, as we saw with Tesco. It's about harnessing the power of packaging, like the Absolute brand. And then it's about identifying new opportunities to create new occasions and new distribution for your brand, breathing life into what might be an established old product, as we saw with Ferrero Rocher. And if we follow these steps, we have a great chance to grow our core business, to protect and enhance our brand equity, and also, and most importantly, to boost the bottom line. Thank you.